is happening? I got my coffee. I got my cat. She's been co-hosting a lot lately. There we go. Ear in the bottom of the frame. You can even see her. There she is. Hi. Hi. Oh. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Thursday. It is June 24th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Yeah. So yesterday was a pretty solid day. Pretty productive day. Some good stuff. Today's looking to be pretty similar. You know, summer in Vermont is pretty special because you get a lot of people traveling. People come to visit. And I've got a lot of friends who've moved away and they come to visit. They look me up and we have lunch or dinner. And yesterday had one of those, and today has one of those, and tomorrow has one of those. And then on the weekends, you get people having events, birthday parties and graduation parties and other parties and parties for no reason other than let's party. And I got some of those coming. Well, one of the big things that happened yesterday was I filmed some stuff for TikTok. Now, despite the fact that my back is not doing so well, which is impacting my flexibility and my ability to kick high, I was playing with some trick kicks with some plastic cups out of the back lawn. And I got 4 or 5 that are kind of worth sharing. Took about 20 minutes. So, put a couple up. Well, I think there's only one up. I'm gonna do one a day. The goal is to put something up on TikTok every day and figure out the platform for myself, for my clients, for whistlekick, of course. If you want to follow me, I'm at Jeremy Lesniak. Because while there are other Jeremy Lesniaks in the world, at least 2 that I'm aware of, I'm the only one that you need to follow. I used to be Facebook friends with one of them, but I think he unfriended me. I could read something pretty severe into that, but I won't. What else happened yesterday? Did the books, client stuff. Did a little bit outside with the gardens. Stacy says, good morning, Jeremy and Zuza. I say good morning. Zuza, you want to say good morning? Can you hear her purring? Oh yeah, Stacy's reminding me. Issue 1 of Marshall Journal print edition arrived. Holy cow. It's awesome. It came out so good. It's so good. It took us a year and a half to do this, so apparently they can hear you purr. You're that loud. But we have a format now for the magazine, and it won't take us nearly as long. So the next steps, there are 2 things that are going on. Justin and I need to go through it and figure out our plan of attack for issue 2, because there were some things that we could do better, some things that should be smoother. We need a better process. And then the second thing is we need a salesperson. If you or somebody you know out there loves martial arts and wants to be involved in selling ad space, either on Martial Arts Radio, or heck, I mean, if somebody really wants to sponsor First Cup, we could do that. But primarily, the Martial Journal magazine, we're going to pay a very hefty commission. I wouldn't imagine this is going to be full-time for somebody for a while. So if somebody wants to do that work, make some money, some reasonable money, not great money, reasonable money, have them reach out to me. We've got something here. There's some magic in this. So that's going on. That's big. And that's a big part of what I'm doing today. Is my goal for the day is to get all 100 copies, well, 99 because I got one, All 199 copies in the mail to people. I can't promise it's happening today. Especially since I'll probably need to buy more stamps. I don't think I have that many stamps. But we're going to do that. And then, because I didn't plan on us mailing them in an envelope, I thought they were going to get mailed out in like one of those plastic magazine bags. The fact that it's an envelope means I can put stuff inside. So, I'm not going to tell you guys, because I'm guessing most of you watching or listening to this have you're already on the mailing list for Martial Journal. You're getting issue 1. Which, by the way, make sure you say that. This thing is going to be collectible. People are going to, I fully expect, because this was a goal, that we wanted people to treat these more like comic books in terms of saving them and rereading them than magazines. We used like really high quality paper. The covers are really glossy. You're going to see. Most magazines are done, how thin can we make this? How cheap can we make this? That's not how we're doing it. We don't do anything that way, do we? So, yeah. I expect years from now, people will be trying to complete their set and buying certain issues. Because remember, if you want to get it, you have to be on the list. And if you get it, you have to continue to get on the list. It's going to require action, effort, things that not everyone is good at. Squeeze. Now later today, I'm going to lunch with, when I was a child, my mother's best friend and her husband. I think that made sense. Sally and Charlie, who I grew up calling Aunt Sally, and Uncle Charlie. I have some pretty fond memories of the two of them. They treated me very well. Yeah, good people. But their daughter lives in, we'll call it northeastern Vermont. So they're up visiting her and said, hey, let's have lunch. So we're going to have lunch. Can I have my arm back? I need my arm back. Arm, please. Thank you. Anything else? Those are the big things for today. Those are really the biggies. My back is so sore. It's got to loosen up. It's driving me nuts. Because it's limiting everything. I can't sit up straight. Ah, man. It's like, it's almost ready to be better. I expected it to be all better after last night's sleep. It was not. Anything else happened yesterday? TikTok. The only other thing of importance, the only other thing relevant to report is that I was storing some things in the warehouse space, in the upstairs, the training place, for someone. They came and got almost half of what was left. So there's a ton of space now. I can reconfigure more, which means the training space, the recording space are moving along. We got some filming coming. I am excited. Casper's in the chat asking me if I do foam rolling, and I do. And what's going on here? This is the, let's see, CTTL? Yeah, at the TL junction, this thing is just locked right up. And all the muscles around that vertebrae, to the point where I can feel it come around into my ribs. And this is where, historically, I would just call up one of the various chiropractors in my life, because I've dated two, and my best friend was one. But I don't have a chiropractor in my life right now. Usually I'm pretty good at getting it self-adjusting. But, oh, there's something else. And honestly, this is probably part of why it's really tight today, because I pushed through it and developed a mobility form, like a kata or a tool, pumse, whatever you want to call them. I made one for flexibility to go with the flexibility program, because one of the big goals for the week is that I finish the draft. No, I don't need your pause on me. that was one of the things that was left. And it came out really well. It's interesting. It's interesting, and there is enough space for individualization that people who do it should hopefully be able to put their own stamp on it and enjoy it. It's going to be a big part of the flexibility program. Because what makes you more flexible? Doing flexibility things frequently. So the more variety you have, the better. The idea of sitting in a split and holding it and gritting through the pain, the science does not back that up as the most effective way. It doesn't mean it won't work, but it does not back it up as the most effective way. So by the end of the week, by the end of tomorrow, yikes, I will have the complete first draft of that program done. Yay, this has been a long time coming. There have been a lot of stumbles because there were just a lot of things that popped up that limited my time to work on this. And I'll shoot that out to people, and then I'm going to start filming video because there are a bunch of videos that we need to do to demonstrate the movements. And yeah. Remember, this one's going to be free, completely free. And I know it's going to upset people. It's going to upset people for two reasons. One, it's going to upset people because we're saying that the things that they've been doing to get flexible aren't the best way. And you know how martial artists get really upset when they find out there's another way to do something and their style or their school isn't the absolute best one in the world, and they get bent out of shape and they go through this cognitive dissonance and try to make it sound like everything else sucks because otherwise they feel badly about themselves because they didn't do anything to work through their ego deficiencies. You know, that whole thing? That's going to happen here, as well as the fact that there are a number of programs right now trying to charge you a lot of money, showing somebody who's really flexible and saying, hey, buy my course, you'll get more flexible. So I'm not saying those courses are necessarily bad, but here's a theory. So I'm going to share this with all of you. This is something, honestly, this program came as a result of this theory. It is not the other way around. I didn't just set out to say, you know what, let's kick people in the junk and put out a program that's going to make them upset in a variety of ways to attract state. It's not about that. Think of where we are right now in the world, commercially, professionally. We have been lied to for so long by so many people that nobody trusts anything. I struggle to get people to buy our programs, to buy anything, because people have just become so disinterested. Think about what happens when I need my arm back. I can't drink coffee when you do this. Thank you. Welcome to all of my life. When they want your email address, when they want all of these things, we're at a point where so many businesses and people have failed to deliver the value they promised for so long that a large portion of us, maybe even most of us, are overly skeptical to the point where they won't take action. And I think that number is going to become worse and worse. I think more and more people are becoming skeptical, disinterested, untrusting. So how do you combat that? When you're trying to sell training programs to people and the deficit of value is so sufficient that they're not willing to plunk down money, and that testimonials have been faked for so long, and they're not willing to watch videos, they're not willing to do research. They want you to prove to them that what you have is good, but they're not willing to go through the work to accept and understand the proof because they're going to be skeptical. How do you handle that? There's only one way you handle that. You give something away of greater value than they would expect completely for free. So when we roll out this flexibility program, you're not even going to have to plunk down your email address. It's just going to be a download. You're going to click a button, it's going to download, and you can read it. That's it. There's nothing to track, there's no cost. We're not even going to allow people to pay for this. If they want to pay for it, they can go buy one of the other programs. That's it. And the hope is, in doing that, enough people will give it a try and they'll say, huh, this stuff works. What else does this company do? That's the hope. And this is something I'm starting to talk to some of my clients about because it's coming. I'm watching this. I'm watching email open rates drop. I'm watching any of the metrics that are worth tracking in business. All the numbers are going down. And I see it getting worse before it gets better. And this is the only solution that I see. And that's why we rolled this program out. Because what was the program that was going to be most interesting to most people? Flexibility. So that's what we made it. I could have made other programs. There's plenty of programs I can make. There's a strength building weightlifting program that's brewing in my head that I'm going to make soon. We still have the strength speed hybrid going. That one should be done soon. I got an email from Chris yesterday that the tracking sheets are coming right along. It's tight. Let's see. It could actually be, I wonder if it's a rib. I wonder if it's something in here that's pulling. It's possible. I just need to move more. After dinner with my friend Kevin, we went for a walk, and that was nice because I just gotta move. Ugh. Walking is therapy. All right, let's see what is going on. Oh yeah, it's Thursday. There's a show. Is it up? I don't know. Hey, you settled down. Nice job. Ah. Episode 617. The role of parents and family in a martial arts household. Nice. It's an episode Andrew and I did when he came up. Another in-person conversation talking about primarily what it's like or should be like in a household, in a family, where the children train, but the parents don't. And actually, I've got, there's one school I know of that they're giving, and I think this is a great idea, and I'm going to share this with all of you. Any parent that does not already train gets the month of July to train for free. The majority of their program is children, and most of the parents don't train. So they're saying, hey, take this month, you come train for free when you want. It's a great opportunity. It's a great tool. I would strongly suggest doing something like this because you've already got that parent, that person already thinks highly of your school. They're bringing their kids there. They wouldn't if they didn't. And sometimes they just need a little push over the edge. There are a lot of people who started bringing their kids and stuck around after a little while. My mother did that for 2 years before she started training. I remember that. All right. So we got ideas, we got episodes. Let's see what we got to talk about. I know you guys gave me stuff to talk about. You always do. Somebody always does. All right. I have a video recommending that I watch about the new 2022 Toyota Land Cruiser, which I'm not going to watch because I know what's going on with the 2022 Toyota Land Cruiser. I know that financially it would not be in the budget right now. And I know it's not available in the US. Fun story. So I took a look when I bought my 3 cars ago, back when, you know, BM, before the Mazda, I considered getting a Land Cruiser. And there was only one dealership around that had one. They sell very few of them in the US. And I went and I test drove one. It was awesome and I liked it. But I also didn't want to spend 90 grand on a car. even though it would probably be the last car I had to buy for 20 years. The math still didn't work on that. And I remember doing the math and going, okay, payment would be this. If I didn't go out to eat ever and canceled it, and basically it was 100% of my disposable income would have gone to the car. And I know people who would do that. I am not one of them. But I do see some quotes here, some stuff from Frank. On this day in 1895, boxing champion Jack Dempsey was born. I would encourage all of you, you've probably heard of Jack Dempsey. If you don't know his story, I would encourage you to go do a little bit of research, because back in the days when he was boxing, he was a huge deal. We don't get very many athletes that transcend from sport to culture, to just general pop culture. And he was definitely one of them. And the fact that here we are this long after, and so many people know about him, even people who didn't box, that says something. A champion is someone who gets up when he can't. Yeah. What does that make me think of? My black belt test, my first one. I can do anything because I did that. I truly believe that. I kept getting knocked down. It hurt. We were past the point where it hurt. We were at the point where there was some control to it. It's not like I was getting murdered, but I was on the ground, exhausted, getting kicked. And I considered staying there because it was less work. It was less work to remain on the ground getting kicked than to get up. I was 16. That moment, that test has set the tone for my life. That's why I'm so big on black belt tests being... I understand why in many schools they're done in big groups. I do, I get it. But this is why I am a big proponent of black belt tests being individual, so you can cater to the needs of that person. So you can help them find their line and cross it. Where's their line? Proving to them that there's always more. Number 2, when I was a young fellow, I was knocked down plenty. I wanted to stay down, but I couldn't. I didn't read ahead on me. I had to collect the $2 for winning or go hungry. I had to get up. I was one of those hungry fighters. You could have hit me on the chin with a sledgehammer for $5. When you haven't eaten for 2 days, you'll understand. There's an interesting principle here, talking about being, whether it's desperate or back against the wall or whatever. When you look at business, a lot of businesses have their best ideas when the money's about to run out. One of the points in time when Whistlekick had that, money was running low, I was getting desperate, I figured out how to sell on Amazon. We'd had product on Amazon for a year, just never sold. I finally figured it out. We started to sell things. The money that I had invested in product started to come back out. By the way, in theory, there's gear on the way. I don't know. Limited supply of black head, hands, and feet. It's going to go quickly. And by the way, prices are going to go up. They have to. We've been selling too cheap. It's going to become more of a niche product. Like we don't have the time and the resources to make it a commodity product. It never should have been. It was never intended to be. But now that enough people have done it and tried it, they get it. When we talk about the most dangerous people in the context of self-defense, it's often people with nothing to lose, people who are desperate. If Jack Dempsey was able to get up being beat on from a fight after not eating for a couple days to win a fight because he was so desperate, what are people going to do in the modern era? If someone is hungry, scared, alone on the street, and you look like a good target, what are they going to do if they need to eat? The most dangerous person is someone with nothing to lose. Number 3. Tall men come down to my height when I hit them in the body. I like that. When we talk about self-defense, when we talk about the actual application of martial arts, there's no point in kicking high. It's pointless. It's silly. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you are kicking above the knee, there's no point. Okay. If I can kick you in the head, I can kick you in the knee faster. If I can kick you in the head, I can kick you in the knee safer, or behind the knee, or the thigh, whatever. You have to get pretty close to kick somebody in the head. And the only reason that you would kick someone in the head is if there is no chance, like competition or a controlled environment, for them to grab the leg or the leg gets stuck on their shoulder. Casper says, push kicks are nice in self-defense. They can be. Depends on what the goal is. I'm not saying that other things don't apply. I'm saying that if you were to make a list of all the reasons to kick somebody, there are very few times where you can accomplish the same thing just as well, if not better, kicking in the leg, and be safer. Big fan of leg kicks. If you can't stand, you can't fight. Can you hear her grunting? I don't know if she's... Are you disagreeing with what I say? A good fighter usually knows, to within a very few seconds, when a 3-minute round is going to end. I believe that. 3 minutes is forever. Anybody who's ever done any fight competition, it's forever. Ooh. You know, we've got a competitive format that we're working on rolling out. Honestly, right now we're trying to find a location to put this out. Southern New Hampshire, maybe Southern Vermont, Northern Massachusetts. There's something that we're building, and this is going to be unlike any martial arts competition that has ever had, well, I shouldn't say ever, that I'm familiar with. It's going to be way more fun. And it's got rounds. Anybody who's ever fought rounds knows rounds are long. If you look at the fight conditioning program, if you purchase that, it's all based on the fact that in any competitive situation, people will engage for no more than 20 seconds before breaking. Go watch tape. Go watch it. You will see most people doing 8, 10, 12, maybe 15 seconds. In extremely rare cases, 20 seconds. And then they back out and they shake it off. Why? Because of how the body processes energy. Casper says, 3-minute rounds, it's bad. Yeah, 3 minutes is a long time. You start to see what people are really made of when they fight for 3 minutes. Go fight for 3 minutes. And then see how many times you can repeat that. Casper says they train 12 and 8 seconds. Yeah. I would assume that's kind of like a Tabata, 12 seconds of intensity, 8 seconds of rest. I see that a lot of value in that. One more. So after this, so Thursday, I want you to leave me some stuff for Friday. I'm sure Frank's going to give us some quotes, probably some jokes. I want you to think about giving me some stuff. Go check out that episode that we dropped today on the role of family in martial arts training. Okay. And remember, if you want to support us, Patreon, buy something at whistlekick.com, buy one of the programs at whistlekickprograms.com. And you know, somebody else that I'm looking for, we got a few people that I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone to take brand ambassadors to the next level. We've got a few that don't do anything. They need support, they need help, they need encouragement. And we've got one more who just applied. And it needs more attention than I can give. This is a commission position because brand ambassadors bring in money, very little, but they could bring in more. And so the idea is that if I bring somebody on for that, they will get a cut of the brand ambassador's cut. So somebody who's willing to put in a little bit of work, be a pretty good side hustle. Let me know. And we've got books at Amazon. We've added, 2 more this week? It's a constant outflow of books. We got books. So many books. And our final quote from Jack Dempsey today: a champion owes everybody something. He can never pay back for all the help he got from making him an idol. Think about all the people that helped you get where you are. Maybe drop an email. Hey, thanks for your support. I don't care if you haven't talked to that person in 20 years. They would appreciate hearing it. I get emails all the time. Got one yesterday from someone who was on the podcast, I think 3 years ago, that a former student that he hasn't talked to in a long time found the episode, listened to it, and was so struck that he reached out to say thank you. Thanks for all that you did for me. It's pretty powerful. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I will see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.